This story, obviously no one has ever done it before, but this is supposedly one of the oldest serial killers, and I really doubt you guys have ever heard of this. This is the book, and this is on archive.org, the internet site that
exists.
Yeah, but this is from the
Library of Congress.
Library of Congress in 1787.
Wow. Only 11 years after the country was established.
Crazy.
That's insane in the membrane.
That's old.
Did I tell you guys that I was stuck in DC for a little bit?
No.
On my way back, I did have a delay due to a mechanical error. Of course, they kept us on the same plane, but I made it back alive, or so I think. I mean, consciousness
This is a ghost.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
But Jen's a ghost.
I'm a ghost.
All right, Stephen D. Richards, Life and Confession.
Wait, I wasn't done. I'm sorry. I know you're going to cut it anyway, but the DC airport,
Why do you keep saying that? I'm going to cut it.
Because you
Jen,
will.
The other day, Jen comes in and says, "You know what, guys? I'm going to start talking into the microphone." And I was like, "Jen, it's episode 400, okay? The reason I cut your shit is because no one can hear it."
So I went to the Dulles airport, and it was a beautiful airport.
I don't think I've ever been in that one.
And sometimes I don't like you. That's what. No, I'm just kidding.
It's okay. You can love me and not like me. That's like most familial relationships.
Yeah,
We're
brother and
family.
sister.
It's
We are.
fine.
You're
It's
my
fine.
stepsister.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. I'll accept that. I'll take it.
Yeah, you will take it because you're my stepsister. So in this book, this is what he says.
I have killed 9 persons, said the arch fiend, speaking to the author of this sketch, and I can't say that I feel any worse for it. I have only one wish now in the world. I wish to kill 2 more persons. The writer held his breath, doubting, wondering, and fearing. He asked, who? A preacher and a reporter was the quick reply.
That's oddly specific.
Very.
Why 11? Why are you going to make it an odd number?
it-
Why don't you just cut it off at 10?
Is it his lucky number?
Or 0? I mean,
Yeah.
like, if you did it at 0, that would be better.
Correct. Agree.
But I mean, also I've killed 9 persons, and then I like the fact that it's like the arch fiend, which is like major fiend, because when you think of arch, like you can have a nemesis, but if you have an arch nemesis, that's bad blood.
Yes.
But like you have a bishop, but the archbishop is like ahead of all the bishops.
All right, so this is what this guy looks like. He is a serial killer. We're going to start with the most gruesome murder, but can you describe him? Do you think he's really good looking? Ridiculously good looking?
Really, really ridiculously good looking. I mean, he's definitely got quite the hair and handlebar mustache.
This is also an illustration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hard
This
to
is
tell.
1879, so he was
Did you
executed.
say 1879? I thought you said 1779. I thought you said 1789, actually.
Jen,
Yeah.
you also don't listen very well, so...
I have
1879.
dyslexia.
Tonight we're going to Kearney Junction, Kansas. This is a out west kind of story. This killer travels. He is a legit cowboy traveling. He goes all the way to California, all the western states, and this is back in the 1800s, so, nothing but the plains. But we're starting in a small 2-room house. Very small, two rooms for this house. So you have 1 bedroom, which go to talkmore.com to see the photos. These 2 rooms, so the kitchen has to be like in 1 room, like kitchen and everything else.
Kitchen,
Bathroom,
living room,
yeah.
laundry. I mean, they didn't have laundry machines back then, but
On 1 bed, this is real late at night. This is 2 a.m. in the morning. 1 bed, you have a mother and her 2 girls. At the foot of that same bed was a baby in a crib. On the opposite side of this 1 of 2 rooms was another bed. And this is where Stephen D. Richards was sleeping. Now, he had met this woman who he is spending tonight with. They're not sexual. She actually has a husband who's out of town, but he works with her husband. They're in like mergers and acquisitions and bank robberies and train derailment robberies.
oh,
and
so
stuff.
they're criminals.
Yeah, they're criminals, yeah. So that's how they know each other. But he is staying that night in the bed. At 10 p.m.,
Wait, I'm sorry. It's her house or his house?
it's her house. He
and,
doesn't...
and his friend that he's in business with is not there.
Exactly.
Okay, got
He's
it.
out doing a train robbery.
Okay, but the friend is there.
Exactly.
Got it.
So at 10 p.m., everyone goes to bed. There were, quote, no words of dispute, end quote. And this was a Sunday morning around dawn time. Now, everything we're going to be reading and everything else comes from this guy's own confession. The book is called The Life and Confession of Stephen D. Richards. So he says exactly why he's doing all this stuff. But he gets up real late at night, wee hours in the morning, and he walks out to the shed. He tries his best not to wake anyone up, the creaky floors. He, silently calmly unlatches the screen door and pulls it open. He goes outside and he grabs an axe, which he had placed there earlier in the night. So this was all premeditated, what I'm about to tell you. Then he takes the axe and slowly walks back into the house. And he says the following, quote, "She did not hear me. She was breathing calmly, and the children were also sleeping soundly," end quote. He watched her for a few minutes, and he'll talk about how he really didn't understand his own psychology. He doesn't know why. He's just staring at her, looking at her with the axe. And this wasn't anything sexual at all. Then he goes over to the curtains and he pulls the curtain back, quote, "just a trifle," end quote. For some strange reason, which he himself cannot explain, he crossed the room and pulled back the curtain just a trifle. A streak of daylight shot in like an arrow from a bow and darted across the partially covered head of the little girl Daisy. It was only for a moment, but the sleeping child felt the influence and, turning over, threw her white baby hands above her head, and with her pearly teeth shining through, she whispered as if in dreams, "Mama, Mama." The ray of sunlight, which reminds me a lot of that Edgar Allan Poe story, Telltale Heart.
Yes.
You remember when he's like opens the door?
Oh, and the flash of light type thing on the eye.
Yeah, that one little eye.
Yeah.
That is always
That's
open.
a creepy ass story.
I know. He spent so much time talking about that, like how he would sit there for hours and just like move the door like millimeters at a time and then point that little ray right at that blue eye. Oh, it's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah. What's the story that he wrote, the poem that he wrote, LMA?
Annabelle Lee.
Annabelle Lee.
Annabelle Lee, yeah, she's from
Lee
here.
Is from Charleston, yes.
So
From
is
when he was a
When he was
post,
stationed here?
a post office worker. Yes, and they
he
were
wasn't a
supposed to-
post office worker. He was in the army
I know he was stationed here.
or the Navy or something. And maybe
No.
he was.
Well, I mean, the guy could have told the story wrong. I don't know. I heard it when I was on the ghost tour.
Maybe you heard post and thought post office.
Maybe this is the night that I critically injured my ankle.
Oh, yeah.
So any memory from that night
It's
is
fuzzy. It's fuzzy.
Poe's the master of horror, but I'm telling you, Lovecraft is where it's at.
Lovecraft is from Providence,
It's
Rhode Island.
fucking, his shit is goddamn creepy. Anyway.
You know he was from Providence?
I thought he was from Arkham, Massachusetts.
That's
but-
not a real place, is it? Arkham,
I don't know.
Massachusetts? No, that's not a real place.
I'm Googling.
That's like Innsmouth. That's not a real place either.
I don't know.
Innsmouth is not correct. That's not a real place.
So the little girl, Daisy, she says, "Mama, Mama," but then she falls right back to sleep. Jen, pay attention.
Arkham is a fictional city situated in Massachusetts.
Yeah, because Batman uses that too.
That's Gotham.
Oh, yeah, that's Gotham.
What
That's
what
okay.
was the other place? Innsmouth?
Innsmouth.
Massachusetts?
Yeah, that's a fucking creepy story, dude.
I don't know that one.
It's
Unless
weird.
they made a movie that we would have
No,
seen
they made
together.
a movie. Is anyone still watching this shit?
Nope.
Oh, Wolfie says Arkham 2 is in Batman.
Innsmouth
Oh, I told you.
is not real.
Because I always said,
Oh, Arkham was the mental hospital, right?
quote, "I approached the bed of the mother and, getting a good aim at her head, raised the axe
Oh.
and struck her once very hard on the left side of her head. The blow must have killed her almost instantly, for she never spoke and scarcely stirred. To make sure of my work, I hit her a second time near the temple, and then I turned to Daisy, who was still sleeping, with one little hand over her head and a few curls
Oh.
and part of her face visible."
Is
End
this a
quote.
kid? Oh,
Yeah, it's a
no.
10-year-old. The little girl, Daisy, she was the oldest of the three children. She was in the middle of Mother and Mabel. Mabel was the 2-year-old. Daisy was the next. So Mother first, then Daisy. So let me go back for a second. I started this, we're in Kansas. This guy, who I showed you a picture of, good-looking guy from what everyone said, was friends with this bank robber, train robber, criminal. He spent a lot of his time at the house, but all of a sudden he had this urge to axe them all up. And even he can't explain why the urge was so strong, but he premeditated it. It was thought out. He had placed the axe near the door. He had went to sleep. He pretended to be asleep. He woke up 2 a.m. He goes out very quietly, grabs the axe and comes back. And for reasons he cannot even explain, which we can explain nowadays, he's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah. They didn't know what to call it back then.
Sounds
but
about right.
He comes back and he stares at them and he pulls back the curtain and he's just thinking, and all of a sudden he just axes them to death. So the mother was struck first, and next Daisy. Daisy was the oldest child. She was hit first with the flat end of the axe. She was hit on the side of her head, her temple. Quote, she too stirred but little and made no noise, end quote. Next, I killed Mabel. Struck her on the forehead with the flat side of the axe. One blow and killed her dead. Then I killed Jesse, who laid sleeping in the crib at the foot of the bed. I struck him with 3 blows and killed him dead, end quote. At this point, everyone's dead, but he hears this little faint, Daisy wasn't dead yet. She was almost there, but she was moaning as if she needed to be finished off. So, quote, I struck her 2 or 3 times more, and then she laid quite still, end quote. So, what do you guys think?
Ugh. I mean, that's
Don't
terrible.
like it. That's I mean, how can you? I don't know.
Like, what was the motivation? You know, he's just like, because he felt like it.
I
Yeah, he
just
felt
don't
like it.
understand.
He wanted to hit number 11, right? What and why 11? I still don't.
No,
get that.
this was B9.
This is
Right,
not-
but he wants to. 11 was his goal. You know, he had a number he was striving for.
Can you read this? This is from his own words.
When you killed the 3 children of Mrs. Harrelson, asked the writer on one occasion of Richards, did you not feel conscience-stricken, a pain of awful regret, or that you were committing a terrible wrong? The monster laughed sardonically, and with a carelessness that was at once strange and terrible, replied, not a damn bit. Just as soon as have slaughtered so many pigs, one blow of the axe settled 'em, one after the other, and all was over. The grave was all ready, and I hauled the carcasses out and chucked them in. As for a pang, as you call it, I didn't feel anything, only that I had got rid of the crowd.
So the pang of consciousness, basically, he doesn't have one, which means he's a psychopath. That's like
Yeah.
what we know nowadays.
Wait,
What?
is like the word sardonically, like sarcastically?
I think sardonic means
It means like sardines.
meat like meanly.
Like if you get, it's like the plural of sardines. So if you get
No.
sardines on the pizza, you would call Domino's and be like, "Can I sardonically get the pizza?" And
Grimly mocking or cynical.
So kind of like sarcastic.
You're making
You're
fun of
mocking
them,
it, yeah.
So let me tell you about this guy. When I was a boy, he answered, I was sent out to kill a litter of kittens.
Oh my God. No.
And I did so by striking their heads against a tree, smashing out their brains one by one. I didn't feel bad about it at all. It was fun. I experienced the same sort of feeling when I killed these little Harrelson kids. Just as soon as have strangled so many kittens or brained them against a tree.
Oh.
I like that word, brained.
I don't.
No.
You know,
no, I do
brained
not
him.
like that word. Mm-mm.
So what do you think of this guy? Kind of insane,
He is
right?
making
Peachy.
me really question my pro-lifeness, I guess.
He's not a good person. And he's a sociopath.
Yeah, I mean, like you normally, I'm like, well, you do the crime, but like you deserve to suffer while you're alive as well, but like to draw it out. But I mean, this guy,
He just doesn't even care.
what a jackass!
So-
man, like how do you kill children and enjoy it
And be like,
That's
yeah,
like
whatever.
pure evil.
Yeah.
It's to be stopped. I mean, yeah, it's the 1800s, so he was eventually
is no
stopped. He's
longer
no
alive.
longer. He has expired. However,
As I said, he was friends with the husband Jasper Harrelson, who was a quote Underwood, a notorious desperado, and which you guys will probably remember, he was the one behind the quote Big Spring train robbery.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Mrs. Harrelson was slender, sandy brown hair, rather large, not a bad-looking woman. Oldest child, Daisy 10, Mabel 4, Jasper 2, that was the baby in the crib. Quote, I thought a good deal of the children, he would say, and they in turn hung around me constantly and seemed to be very fond of me, end quote. He actually spent many months there in the home, and he actually made a deal with the husband and wife to get a part, it was like a quarter of the land that they owned, deeded over to him, a quarter of the section for $600. And he went out and he hustled, and he got the money and a deal was made and everyone was happy. So at this point, he owned quarter of the land. They were real happy with him living there. As I said earlier, there were no like hateful comments or anything made before they went to bed that one night. And he had really no reason to murder them because now he's got a quarter of the land, which was producing crops, which he could grow and sell, and he was set up for life.
Right.
So the big thing about this book is trying to figure out why he did this. And this is before mental health was even a thing, before the word psychopath existed. He himself couldn't even explain why he wanted to do this. The children loved him to death. They would call him Uncle Stevie, you know, and there was no reason for him to do this. So, kind of crazy, eh?
Yeah. Like, it's actually interesting how well documented this is, too.
Yeah.
Well, it's well documented because they were really trying to figure out why he did this.
They're like, tell me more.
And he didn't know exactly. So they were trying to,
yeah, they were fascinated by it.
He says, quote, I cannot say that I regret what I have done. There were a couple he killed before this. I would like to say that they were just crimes in the moment. Let me tell you a little bit about this guy's background. He was born 1856 in West Virginia. He moved to Idaho.
You are a hoe. Look at you.
I'm not even thinking about Idaho.
At least you admit it. Man, it's taken, 400 episodes? Damn.
Idaho. Does say Idaho? Does say Idaho?
Idaho.
No, I meant to say Ohio. I don't know. What did I say? Ohio.
Idaho. That is our 51st state.
Idaho. I was looking at Ohio. I don't know what the fuck. He was born in West Virginia and moved to Ohio. He was a good child, decent parents, not strict, no school problems. He had to brain the kittens, but that was because, he wasn't an animal abuser. He did love it, but it was, they were feral kittens. He had to kill them.
Wait, but how... I understand there's a difference between having a cat that is your pet and you love them and having these animals that are infested around your property, but cats aren't really a problem animal, are they? They take care of mice, they're cute, they meow.
I don't know what's a feral cat mean? What happens?
It's not one that is friendly to humans. It's just kind of wild.
When I think of feral,
if it's gonna hurt the other animals on the property,
but
maybe?
Normally they're skittish. They'd stay away from. They stay away.
When I think of feral or something, I don't know. I kind of think of
me,
Murphy. You know how he's just real feral and kind of dirty and just not a good boy. When he was a boy, I will say that he started reading these little, what are they called? Little pulp comic books about the Westerners, old Billy the Kid and Billy the Skid Mark and
Billy the Skid.
All these desperados. And he began to write them. He's actually writing letters to desperados.
Desperado.
What do you think these desperados reply back to him? Thanks for being a fan. Check out my podcast.
Yeah.
No, they write back to him telling him how to counterfeit money.
Stop. Here's how you rob a train, son.
So they're writing back to him, telling him how to counterfeit money. So as a boy, he starts counterfeiting money.
Dang.
So he's getting in the wrong path as a boy.
He also probably doesn't have the best role models,
The first guy he killed was kind of a kill at the time, I guess. He was 18 years old. He was riding south with a man in Kansas. They were playing cards. Now they're on horseback. So he's always wanted to be a cowboy desperado, Westworld type of stuff. So they were riding and he made a companion. They play cards and this guy, Stephen Richards, won all the money. And this man in the morning said, you know what? He says, quote, we may as well settle this little matter before us here and now. Either give me back my money or fight. So they had a duel and Stephen Richards Richards was quicker to the draw, blow, and, quote, the ball struck him above the left eye and killed him almost instantly.
Jeez.
And then he dragged the man to the river and pitched him in and then sold his horse at the market. I mean, literally fucking cowboy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
But I'm not going to get too much into everything. This story, the way it was written was to try to figure out why he did this. Yeah, he killed in the past. He was a desperado.
So he only killed, not that he only killed, he killed 9. He didn't get to his goal of 11.
Yeah, but
He wanted the last 2 to be a preacher and a...
yeah,
Journalist.
Yeah.
there's a couple things.
And I'm sure the guy that's taking the interview is like,
Right.
don't hurt me.
Yeah, he's like, he gets number 10, which is a preacher, and it's like, this is John Johnson here reporting on your crime of the day. Our friend has killed 10 people, including a preacher, a child, and a mother. What has led you to kill 10 victims?
Number 11.
There's a couple things about this story that is worth mentioning. Number one, when he did get arrested, which was rather quickly, he started receiving a bunch of letters from the female population saying that, you're so hot. Will you be my bad boy?
They liked
he
the
the-
illustration in the newspaper.
Is he the first
I think
recipient of like prison mail?
I
Like,
think
not
so.
prison mail, but like prison date mail.
Yeah.
I think so. Really. I mean, he was a good-looking person. And he was very vain.
You're
when
so vain.
when he went to get executed, they finally executed him. He was more concerned about how his hair looked. I'm not even fucking joking. Seriously.
Hang on. Just get some more shoe polish in there. He's combing his mustache.
I'm an organ donor, but like, is it vain of me to like hope that they don't take my eyes? Like, that's something that I like about
I don't
me.
think you can have a choice on that one.
Can't I write it into my will and testament?
No, they wouldn't get to that until much later.
I'll put a note on the back of my driver's license.
Just don't take my eyes.
Don't take my eyes.
You rather someone just be blind
I'm
forever.
already losing my vision, so it's not like they're gonna like.
You're losing your vision?
I'm getting old.
Have you gotten your eyes checked?
No, not lately. Or ever.
Maybe you should just have a quick appointment just to make sure you can see.
Yeah. Or I could just like,
How many
brave it
fingers
out
am I
there.
holding up, Jen?
One.
I mean, I think she could predict that would be what happens. She didn't really even have to see it.
Nope. I was like, see, here's my challenge is like, do I look at you, the storyteller, or do I look at you, the camera?
Or do you just go to sleep?
That's only when I've like really been drinking.
He does not look like a murderer. He has a pleasant face. His voice is like a woman's, and his eyes are not at all savage. On the contrary, they are mild and rather expressive in confidence. Can a man with such eyes be a murderer? I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm a murderer. I'm just kidding. Well, I guess I'm not kidding. Depending on your definition of war crime, that's fucked up.
You've killed in combat. That's different.
All right. He was the first one. I think he was the first one to get prison mail, honestly.
Interesting.
Not
Yeah.
like prison mail or prison date mail.
Like
Prison
yeah,
date mail.
Yeah, like
You could write a whole fucking encyclopedia about the letters Chris Watts is getting in prison.
God. That's terrible.
That man killed his wife and children.
That was awful.
And like, I just don't like, what about that is appealing?
You tell me. Why do you guys like this so much? Why is like everyone on here right now a female that's watching us? Why are y'all
There's
writing?
a difference between being interested in true crime and
No.
writing to Chris
No,
Watts
dude.
and telling
No,
him that
it's-
you want to date him.
It's female. Y'all, it's 99% female.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we're interested in the psychology.
And no, I don't give a shit.
I am.
That's what y'all tell y'allself.
Maybe.
Back before psychology was even a word, y'all were packing the courtrooms. There's some stories we've done that.
Oh, it's because I like the drama. That's it.
Give us the tea. That's what we really want.
Spill that tea.
Hey, the serpent gave us the apple. Now we want the tea.
Yeah, y'all fucked it up for everyone. We were
Oh,
fine.
yeah. Okay.
And y'all are like, hey, look, eat this fucking apple that some snake told me. Like, are you fucking kidding me? What kind of stupid shit is that?
Everyone loves gossip.
I gave you my fucking lung or liver.
rib.
Rib. Yeah, that makes sense.
So he was executed, you said?
Yeah, he was executed 1879. And like I said, and he was real worried about the book. He wanted the book to come out before so he can read it, like the book that we're reading now. And he was really worried about his appearance.
Well, yeah, that definitely sounds like the definition of vanity.
Well, so before he got executed, he would get in shape, work out, and eat right and stuff because he wanted to, be presented in the best light he could.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was very narcissistic.
Huh. See, that does kind of remind me of the Ted Bundy final meal. Like he refused to eat that food.
Yeah. But I mean, this is so before the term psychopath existed, because this guy just wanted to do it. Like, I don't know. And he never felt sorry for it. I mean, he was a psychopath, which isn't a bad thing. Like, as long as you don't kill somebody,
But he did. He killed children.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but I'm saying as long as you don't.
But he did.
I mean,
he killed many people.
He killed 9 persons.
Yeah. I mean, but you can't hold that to somebody.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can.
Not in this day of age, Jen. All right, that was a short story. I hope you guys liked it, and we'll be on, in the future. We're stopping at episode 399.
And then we're transitioning to our new podcast.
Not a
What if we
conspiracy
did
theorist,
that?
but- Everyone will be like, what happened to episode 400? I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but...
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people. She was breathing regularly. She was breathing regularly.
Regularly.
She was breathing regularly.
You got this. I believe in you.